11 Houston, the definition is pretty good on our monitor here. The color's not too varsity, at least on this set. Could you describe what you're looking at, over?
Roger, you're seeing Earth as we see it at our left-hand window. It's a little more than a half Earth. We're looking at the eastern Pacific Ocean. In the north half of the top half of the screen, we can see North America, Alaska, United States, Canada, Mexico, and Central America. South America becomes invisible just off beyond the terminator or inside the shadow. You can see the oceans with a definite blue cast. See white bands of major cloud formations across the Earth, and can see coastlines. Pick out the western U.S., San Joaquin Valley, the Sierra Mountain Range, the peninsula of Baja California, and can see some cloud formations over southeastern U.S. There's one definite mild storm southwest of Alaska. Looks like about 500 to 1,000 miles. And another very minor storm showing the south end of the screen near the, a long way south of the equator, probably 45 degrees or more south latitude. Pick out the browns in the landforms pretty well. The greens do not show up very well. Some green showing along the northwestern coast of the United States and northwestern coast of Canada.
Hey, world, hold on to your hat. I'm going to turn you upside down. 11, that's a pretty good roll there. That was pretty sloppy, Charlie. Let me try that one again. You'll never beat out the Thunderbird. I'm making myself seasick doing it, Charlie. I'll just put you back right side up where you belong. Roger. 11, Houston, if you could comply, we'd like to see some smiling faces up there. If you could give us some interior views, I'm sure everybody'd like to see you, over.
Okay, we'll reconfigure the PD for that.
Roger. That's Big Mike Collins there. Well, you got a little bit of... Yeah, hello there, sports fans. You got a little bit of me, plus Neil's in the center couch, and Buzz is doing the camera work this time. Roger. Well, I put on a coat and tie if I'd known about this ahead of time. Is Buzz holding your cue cards for you, over? Cue cards have a no. We have no intention of competing with the professionals, believe me. We are very comfortable up here, though. We do have a happy home. There's plenty of room for the three of us, and I think we're all learning to find our favorite little corner to sit in. And 0G is very comfortable, but after a while you get to the point where you sort of get tired of rattling around and banging off the ceiling and the floor and the side, so you tend to find a little corner somewhere and put your knees up or something like that to wedge yourself in, and it seems to work.
Basically Mandalorian the game. Open-ended bounty hunting game. Taking missions from someone like Carl Weathers and tracking bounties across several planets. No hand-holding. You gotta find the guys.
What is going on, my friends? It is 8:01 p.m. here in the good old Florida, US of A. And I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for probably about an hour. 30 minutes to an hour. Gonna watch some football tonight, make some popcorn, hang out. But I hope you had a fantastic weekend. It is Monday, right? It is Monday after all. I hope you had a good weekend, man. The question of the stream: what's your dream Star Wars game? I was reading a lot of comments as I was sitting here waiting for the stream to start, sipping on my coffee. And I agree with a lot of you guys. I think I saw a lot of people talking about an open world Star Wars game. I've been saying for years now that I would love an open world Star Wars game, kind of in the same vein as Skyrim or Fallout or recently Red Dead Redemption 2. So let's talk about Star Wars games. Let's talk about Star Wars. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about Star Trek. Let's talk about whatever you guys want. Welcome, one and all. Before the stream even technically began, we had Vince Wynn hop in with the first super chat and channel support of the stream, man. Thank you so much, Vince. I greatly appreciate that. Vince says, basically Mandalorian the game. Open-ended bounty hunting game, taking missions from someone like Carl Weathers and tracking bounties across several planets. No hand-holding. You gotta find the guys. I'm with you 100% there. So an idea like that, so open-ended, so almost like randomly generated bounties would be awesome. You know, obviously there would be like a main, maybe not even a main quest or a main storyline. But, you know, random bounty hunters across the galaxy hopping from planet to planet. Is that not just the biggest dream of a Star Wars game? For me, I take that a step further, Vince, and I say just a game where you could be a bounty hunter, right? You could be a bounty hunter, or maybe you wanted to join the ranks of the Rebellion or the Empire. Obviously, this would be such an enormous game. It would take so much effort to make. But basically, all I want to do, Vince, is live in the Star Wars universe. If I want to be a bartender, I want to be able to be a bartender. If I want to own my own cantina, I want to own my own cantina. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm going for. I saw some people talking about Star Wars Galaxies in the chat. I played Star Wars Galaxies the night that it went live. The night that it went live, me and my buddy went to Walmart at midnight to get it. They hadn't stocked it yet, and we asked the people if they had any in the back, and they did. They gave them to us, and we played it the night that it went live. It's such a crazy experience. I love that game through and through. Before the new game enhancements or whatever they call the combat upgrade, before all that crap got added, it was such a fantastic game for what I'm looking for, in a Star Wars game. So anyway, long story, Star Citizen size game. Yeah, something like that would be great. Speaking of Star Citizen, that's a project that I've always kind of known about on the periphery. Every time that I like try to look for new information, I find it almost daunting to find new information about Star Citizen. It's kind of difficult. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places. Maybe I'm being too broad in my searches. But it almost seems difficult to find like today's current status of the game. You know what I mean? But once it's done, if it's ever done, it just sounds like the perfect dream game for me, But we shall see. But welcome, guys. Let's shoot the shit. Let's hang out as I sip on my good old coffee. I needed it. My brother was obsessed with that as well as Warcraft when it came out. Caretaker. What's up, Caretaker? Yeah, the two MMOs that I got obsessed with, Caretaker. Star Wars Galaxies and Ultima Online. And those are two MMOs that I still dabble in from time to time. On non-official servers, like player-ran servers. But those were the main two MMOs that I got obsessive with. I played a ton of other ones. I played like Dark Age of Camelot. I played Asheron's Call. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. Not much. It didn't really hold my attention. It wasn't really the kind of MMO that I wanted. I played the Matrix MMO that came out a long time ago. I played City of Heroes. I played so many MMOs. And I really miss playing them. I was playing games with my buddy for a little bit the other night, Saturday night. And we haven't played in a very long time. I have a kid, and he just moved. We just moved, and it's just been kind of chaos for the both of us. But he's like my main. He was the best man in my wedding. I was the best man in his wedding. We've been playing games together since we were like 13 years old. Oh, one sec.
Old Republic, Clone Wars, Galactic War, and Extended Universe. Ground and space battles at the same time with friends. Sending troops down, shooting hypergun up. Real multiplayer.
There you go, Timothy. I appreciate that, man. Swishfish, Jarvis, and Timothy, thank you guys so much for the super chats this evening. I appreciate that. I'm gonna finish. Where was my thought? I was playing with my buddy, and we were talking about MMOs, and we were both like, I get that MMO itch from time to time. It's like an uncontrollable itch to play an MMO, right? I don't know. There's something about that, like addictive grind. As daunting and pointless as it is, but it is addictive. We just don't have the time to play them anymore, I mean, at the most, I'll have like maybe 2 hours of gaming to myself a week that I set aside, but that's really about it. Everything else is work, family, work and family, work and family. And HelloGreedo. I don't consider HelloGreedo work. It's too much damn fun. If I ever did consider HelloGreedo work, you probably wouldn't see me for a couple months because I would just like take my hands off of everything. You need to take a break, right? When things become feeling like work. All right, so Swishfish was first. Thank you so much for the super chat, Swishfish. You're gonna watch the Picard show, Greedo. 100%. I just did the 100% sign with my hand. I can't wait, man. I'm a little apprehensive. I'm a little nervous of what the show is going to be like. Because I grew up watching TNG. I watch The Next Generation a couple times a week. Like sometimes when my wife is rocking my daughter to bed at night, instead of streaming, I'll like throw on an episode of TNG, and then by the time it's over, she's done rocking her and she's put to bed and we hang out. TNG is like my go-to. What do I want to watch tonight? Oh, I know. Another episode of TNG. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Picard show. All the trailers that I've seen, I'm a little nervous about how it's going to be because, TNG and a lot of Star Trek or of the past at least, has been very heady, maybe not heady's not the right word, but maybe, I don't know, it's kind of a cerebral show, right? It's like very thought-provoking. It's like, what, 24th century reflection of modern humanity. That's what it is. It's a reflection of ourselves in modern time told in these far future tales. And modern Star Trek does not feel like that to me. It feels like a fun romp, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of hoping the Picard show brings it back to its roots, and I have a doubt that it's not going to, which will bum me out, but I'm going into it kind of not expecting it to be, what I loved from the past, and I think that's probably the healthiest way to kind of dive into a new Captain Jean-Luc Picard show. So, it's crazy to think that we're getting that anyway, but anyway, Swish, I appreciate that, man. I hope you had a good weekend. And Jarvis Villeman, thank you so much for the super chat as well. An Empire at War sequel. It was just so cool to be able to control Star Destroyers and move fleets around to attack or defend systems. I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, for me, I played more Galactic Battlegrounds back in the day. It kind of suited my... well, they're very similar, I guess, but... I mean, extremely similar. But, yeah, I would... So, the two Star Wars games that I really, really want, Jarvis, I want an open world Star Wars game like Skyrim, blah, 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 blah. I've said that a million times. But the second game, and it's a close second, is a new RTS. I would love a modern Star Wars RTS. Not necessarily a sequel, but, and if it has to be a sequel, cool, whatever. But I would love a modern Star Wars RTS. Now, you don't see very many RTSs nowadays. I mean, you do, but not like big, grand RTSs from major developers like you used to. I have zero hope that an RTS that is PC, or I guess you can make them on the consoles nowadays too. I guess that's a thing, but I do not believe at all that is on EA's radar whatsoever, unless it's some kind of mobile nonsense game that I never will play ever in my life. But I would love a modern RTS, man. With maybe the controls of a Company of Heroes. You know, Company of Heroes had a very, very strategic style of gameplay. You know, you had to strategically move units, face them the right way. The ass end of your tank was just ground zero for anything that hit it. You were done. You had to mobilize units and move them to cover unless they were sitting ducks. I would like something like that where yes, it's a broad RTS, but you also have to micromanage, right? It's strategically. But yeah, Jarvis, I'm with you, man. I miss RTS. The last RTS that I really, really got into was Company of Heroes. And that came out in 2007, I believe. The sequel was fun, but me and my buddies didn't play it that much. So yeah, the last time that we were like playing an RTS for a couple years was Company of Heroes. It's hard. It's really hard. That's my favorite RTS of all time. So anyway, I could talk about that game forever. But I appreciate that channel support this evening, man. Where did the chat go? There we go. I appreciate that, Jarvis. And Timothy Nelson, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. Empire at War 2. You guys are on the same page. Old Republic, Clone Wars, Galactic War, an extended universe. Ground and space battles at the same time with friends. Sending troops down, shooting hypergun up. Real multiplayer. As I said, that would be kind of a dream game for me right now. Like I said, my two dream games. That's one of them. For me, you know, it would be. Yeah, I guess it would be great to have all eras. What era would you guys want? I'm guessing a lot of you guys would want prequel era if you had to pick one, right? I'm the boring old guy. I would go with the OT, obviously, right? HelloGreedo, OT asshole. But no, it'd be really cool, Timothy. And for something like that would incorporate all eras and whatnot. I think it would be fun to have, you know, multiple eras be able to fight multiple eras. Like you could have the Galactic Empire fight, I don't know, the Republic, right? I mean, why not?
Have you ever been a fan of the Lego Star Wars games? If so, are you looking forward to finding out how dare he making episode 17 and creating 8 and 9? My inner child certainly can't wait.
Jamie Lee Claus. Jamie Lee Claus, thank you. Oh, THX, is that what she said? Jamie, the robot. Why did I call it she? It's a robot. It's not a person. Jamie Lee Claus, thank you so much for the super chat, channel support. Give me one sec. But yeah, Timothy, you and Jarvis kind of hit the nail on the head for me. I would love a modern RTS. And not some iPad, iPhone game. I don't want that. I don't play mobile games, damn it. You got an Xbox, you got a PC. This phone needs to be a paperweight. I'm so sick of phones. Okay, boomer, is that what you say? Okay, boomer. Anyway. How do you do the sign? Oh, I just did Jason, I just did 100. That's all I did. I actually don't know the percentage sign. I took a couple years of sign language. I can manage with sign language. But it's been it's been 3 years, I think, since I've even messed with it or utilized it. I think. But yeah. The next super chat. Polypy, thank you. Polypy? I'm going to say Polypy. Polyp, thank you so much. Polo Pie. I'm going to say Polo Pie. That's probably right? Polo Pie, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, man. You're getting me through this hospital night shift. Well, I hope you're not doing any surgery or craziness. Maybe you're answering phones. I was gonna say, hopefully you're not have earbuds in, listen to my stupid ass while you're conducting some major operation. I doubt they allow earbuds into the surgery room unless there's a fancy surgeon, right, who likes to listen to opera as he operates. But I'm glad to hear it, man. Kick back and hang out for an hour or so, and I'll help I hope this little stream can help pass the time, make your shift go a little quicker as we talk about some Star Wars games, right? But I appreciate that, Polo Pie, and best of luck for the night shift, man. In Star Wars Cantina, which oh, wait, I messed up. My chat refreshed. Okay, cool. Fant Productions, thank you so much on two fronts here. Fant Productions says, open world, create your own character and job in the galaxy, Jedi, Sith, Bounty Hunter, Smuggler, Spice Runner, etc., and be able to land and fly with no loading. Yeah, that seems like, Fant, that seems like the dream game for a lot of us, right? An open world game like that, where you're not just, what I always say is that I don't just want to play a Star Wars game. I don't just want to play in the Star Wars universe. I want to live in the Star Wars universe. I want a game where you spawn in, you create your own character, your own destiny. You can join various factions or not. You can run and gun by yourself, or you could be a bartender. You know what I mean? I would love a completely immersive world like that. That would be a Star Wars game. That seems like such an insane undertaking. But dude, like, a game like that, modern game like that. You know, I played Galaxies back in the day for a couple of years, and I've played on and off since then on private servers. And I loved it. It's my favorite MMO next to Ultima Online. They're neck and neck, but that was perfect for me. Star Wars Galaxies was that perfect description that I just said. You're not just playing in the Star Wars galaxy, you're living in the Star Wars galaxy. In Galaxies, man, I was a doctor. My main profession was a doctor. And I would literally sit in the spaceport, in Mos Eisley Spaceport primarily, as travelers would come around me by the hundreds. And then I would, flying from destination to destination, and I would just sit there in the spaceport. And people would pay me credits, and I would give them buffs as they went about their adventures. And that's like one of my favorite things about that game, is that you don't have to participate in the combat, which I didn't really care for the combat in the game. I like the commerce. I like the community. I was a doctor in Star Wars Galaxies. And then I owned my own home, joined a guild. We had a giant guild city. You could have guild cities in this MMO. Our guild city was on Tatooine. What a dream, right? What a dream. We need something like that. A modern game like that. Single player even. A living, breathing world that you explore. Like, I would be fine with the scale of like a Skyrim or something like that. It doesn't have to be enormous. Maybe a couple planets, but complete freedom on those planets, And that's easier said than done, right? This is just coming out of my mouth like, oh yeah, easier said than done, the developers say, right? Oh, I know, trust me. I'm just telling you what my dream game is. But Fant, I appreciate that, man, and I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. A fighting game would be fun, Legendary. There's been a fighting game in the past. I can't remember what it's called, but is it Terras Kasi? Is that what it was called? Star Wars Terras Kasi? I can't remember. But I'm surprised something like that hasn't been done in a modern setting. The legendary Husquin? But yeah. And Jamie Lee Claus, thank you so much for the super chat channel support as well this evening. Have you ever been a fan of the Lego Star Wars games? If so, are you looking forward to finding out how they're remaking episodes 1 through 7 and creating 8 and 9? My inner child certainly can't wait. Thanks. You know, I've only played a handful of Lego games. Me and my wife, when we got our Wii U, we were playing Lego Marvel Superheroes. Is that what it's called? Which was fun. I've only played like Lego Star Wars Saga. I honestly don't remember the name of it. Is it just called Lego Star Wars Saga? I think that's the one. Oh, one sec.
A Padawan game where you live life at Star Wars Hogwarts and sometimes go on quests with your master. Jedi Academy, but a lot deeper in terms of story and showing the journey of a Jedi.
That'd be fun. I appreciate that, Vince. Give me one sec. So yeah, Jamie, I played a little bit of Star Wars Saga, the Lego one, and by a little bit, I mean maybe a couple hours with, no, probably a little longer than that. I played that a little bit with my wife and then my nephew as well. And then I dabbled in Lego The Force Awakens. And I played that on a live stream, and I was embarrassingly bad at it. So, you know, will I end up getting the new one? Is it just called the Skywalker Saga? Is that what it's called? I think. I'll probably end up getting it. I'll probably end up streaming it. I hope there's co-op multiplayer. And the reason that I say that is because I'm bad at those games. Like, really bad at those games. I don't know why. I think I overthink the puzzles of the game. I completely forget that you can switch characters to do certain things. I end up running around in circles. It's hilarious, man. It's like, I feel like a grandpa who has never seen an iPad before and he touches a tablet. You know what I mean? When I play a Lego game. But yeah, Jamie, I'll probably end up getting it. Not too excited for it. And I really, really hope there's co-op, because that would be fun to play with some folks and do a stream, you know. But yeah. Yeah, I'll root for LSU too. Jason, I'll root for LSU too. We're gonna watch it tonight as well. So, in Star Wars Cantina, thank you so much for the super chat, Chill Sport. Which Star Wars character are you most like? Question mark. An open world RPG. Open world RPG, 100%, man. That seems to be one of the biggest wants and wishes and desires that I've encountered with folks on these streams. And it's no secret that, you know, that's my kind of biggest want and wish and desire as well. Which Star Wars character are you most like? Oh, man. You want me to take one of those stupid-ass Facebook tests? Which Star Wars character are you like? Do you like shooting people in the cantina? Do you like swinging blue glowing lightsabers? Do you like flying a Millennium Falcon? Do you like shooting a DL-44? Then you might be Han Solo. Those quizzes are so stupid. Who am I most like? I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Luke. At least I can relate to Luke, right? Luke is kind of well. I love Luke in A New Hope. I love Luke in The Last Jedi, struggling Luke. I love Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi, struggling Luke as well. But Luke at the beginning of A New Hope, man. I think we can all relate to him. He has these obligations. He has these responsibilities that are put on him externally. And he's taking charge. He's being responsible. But he also dreams of adventure. He dreams of something beyond what he's surrounded by. He dreams of, getting away and charting his own path. And as a young person, I think any young person can relate to that, right? And he marches forward. He charts his path. He charts his destiny. He, goes against the wishes of his teachers. He fails and rebounds and so I think in terms of a realistic character that I think most people could relate to, I would say Luke is probably the most relatable, and maybe the most like me, or I'm the most like him. And that's probably the case for a lot of people, right? But yeah. Anyway, Cantina, I appreciate that, man. War Thunder plus Armor 3 plus Planetside 2 Star Wars. I would dig that. I haven't thought about those games in a long time. An RPG set between 3 and 4. 3 and 4. That'd be fun. But that'd be a good time frame. I think that'd be a good time frame. Oh, one sec.
Show. Way overdue for a good Star Trek game, by the way. And Screen Rant, and we got this covered reporting that they're making a Knights of the Old Republic film and series.
Vince Wynn, thank you so much once again, man. I greatly appreciate that. All right, give me one sec, guys. You guys know me. I'm long-winded. So Frankie L, Vince Wynn, and Cole Schreiber. See if I missed anybody. No. I know a lot of people want prequel era games, but deep down I want something from the OT era. They call me JoJo. I'm kind of the same way, man. I want everybody to be pleased, but like the eras that, well, I'd be down for any era. But the prequel era, I guess it depends on what it was. I don't know, man. Like, I had my fill of Jedi stuff with Jedi Fallen Order. I got my fill with Jedi stuff. I want something different. The next game, I don't want it to be like Jedi heavy. I kind of want it. I don't know. If that makes sense. Frankie L, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, man. Ideal game, Battlefront 2 with a long, optional multiplayer campaign. New creative game modes like hunting Rathtars or collecting bounties, I'd buy. I like where your head's at with the game modes for sure. I would love more unique, random game modes like that. And that goes to what I've been saying for a long time, Frankie. I think maybe not Battlefront 2, but maybe a future Battlefront or a future game, allow heavy community modification. Because imagine right now if Battlefront 2 had like private servers, a server browser, and you just a free-for-all of customization, right? People could modify the game to fit their own server. People could create their own maps and stuff like that. You would have people creating game modes like hunting Rathtars or stuff like that, bounties or VIP things. You would have so many different game modes created. But I'm with you. I would love, the Battlefront 2 campaign was pretty wishy-washy for me. I didn't really like it through and through. I liked the beginning of it for sure, but then it kind of became Star Wars Greatest Hits, and it kind of left me behind in what I wanted, I would love a Battlefront game that is kind of single-player campaign first, and I know that's never been the heart of Battlefront. So maybe that wouldn't be a Battlefront game, maybe just like a single-player FPS that kind of feels like Battlefront, if that makes sense. Kind of like a Call of Duty, right? I've never really been that into Call of Duty multiplayer. I did play the first Call of Duty multiplayer a lot, and that's the only Call of Duty I've ever played a lot of multiplayer with. I've only ever played Call of Duty since then because of the single player campaigns, because they're so cinematic and so huge, So I would love something like that with a Battlefront game, but yeah, moral of the story there, Frankie. Allow crazy customization. Why is the rope Nightbot saying things twice? I don't know, but I appreciate that, Frankie. Thank you so much for the support this evening. You should stream Star Wars Galaxy EMU. Yeah, Potato, I usually stream it a couple times a year. I don't put any effort into it. I just run around and talk about the game and show people what the game was like. And but yeah, I have a SWG EMU account, and I still have it installed on my PC. And I hop on there from time to time. If anybody misses Star Wars Galaxies, like Izini just said, as I do, Izini, there is a player-ran server called SWG EMU. Check it out. There's a decent population on there, but for the most part, you know, it's a lot of people that are AFK, like dancing in the cantina. But there's still a lot of people playing and whatnot. But you know, if you miss it, you can get your fill there for sure. But yeah. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Old Republic era Padawan game where you live life at Star Wars Hogwarts and sometimes go on quests with your master, Jedi Academy, but a lot deeper in terms of story and showing the journey of a Jedi. Yeah, I like that. The idea of Star Wars Hogwarts is kind of fun to me. In fact, I would love a Harry Potter MMO. Why haven't they ever made that? But that sounds like a lot of fun to me, where, you know, you can have a really... man, now I can't get Harry Potter out of my head, Vince, because going on a journey with these Padawans would be a lot of fun. In the same way, like, the Harry Potter... What are their names? Harry, Hermione, Ron... Oh yeah, it's just a trio, right? The three main characters. I mean, you have some other kids too, but that's the main trio, right? I don't think there's a fourth. I think so. I came to those books and movies really late. Anyway, yeah, I would love a game like that. That'd be fun. Kind of like Goonies and Star Wars would be fun, you know? I dig that. And not even necessarily go on quests with your master, although I'm sure there would be some you know, missions and stuff like that with that. But it would almost be fun to play as Padawans who are discovering something and getting their hands dirty with something that they discover, you know, and they're kind of taking things into their own hands. You know what I mean? Like a Goonies Star Wars. I think that'd be a lot of fun, but the possibilities are endless, Vince. Let's make them happen. But I appreciate that, man. And Cole Schreiber, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. Just got my N64 up and running. Been playing so many old games with my dad like we used to. Nice. Rogue Squadron, Shadows of the Empire. Hell yeah. If you saw my tweet the other day, or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. I was going through all of my old childhood boxes and putting them up in the attic, in our new house attic, because my parents were like, get this out of our attic. You have a big new house now. Take it. We don't need this shit anymore. So I took all of my old boxes and I was going through them yesterday as I was putting stuff in the attic and cleaning out the garage, and I found like all my old Ninja Turtle toys and just a ton of stuff that I was like, oh my god, I forgot about all this.
Hey,
But
I remember
one sec.
watching one of your vids about a SW Skyrim-like game. You know, there is a mod in the works for Fallout 10v. It's open world. It's great.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's called Star Wars Open World.
Posh, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, and also for bringing that to my attention. Give me one sec. But yeah, another box, Cole, which isn't anything new to me because I've kind of had it in our house for a while, in our old house's attic. And also I had my N64 plugged in for a long time. Was my box of N64 games and Super Nintendo games. I was just rummaging through them. You know, man, that's such a good console. The N64. I remember getting it on Christmas. I didn't ask for it. You know, I didn't ask for much for Christmas as a kid. I don't know why. But my dad got my... Oh, one sec.
Video game would be like a combination of Skyrim and No Man's Sky. An exploration video game with known and unknown canon worlds to explore and with a fantastic storyline.
Hell yeah. Dude, Sky Moyer and Dalton just said like the same damn thing. That's crazy. We need to make this game happen, guys. But give me one sec, guys. But yeah, Cole, like, got it for Christmas. My parents got it for me. I opened some N64 games before I opened the console, and I was like, I don't have an N64. These won't work. And my mom was like, we'll return it. But then I opened the N64, and Just completely unexpected. I thought they didn't understand that I couldn't play N64 games on my Super Nintendo. But my dad wanted to get it for me because he just thought it looked so damn cool. So, that opened up a whole world of console gaming that, for me, I've always been a gamer. I played Super Nintendo, the hell out of Super Nintendo. But when the N64 came out, man, I mean, golly. Yeah, Rogue Squadron, Shadows of the Empire, GoldenEye especially. Super Mario 64, dude, was mind-blowing to me. I could still feel how that game felt playing it. The weightlessness of it. I love that console, man. I had like San Francisco Rush and Cruisin' USA. All sorts of fun games, man. I'm trying to think of, I looked at a ton of them yesterday and I'm blanking on them. I didn't put that box up in the attic because I'm going to put all those consoles and games in a drawer in my office because I have a feeling one day, not too far in the future, maybe a year from now, my daughter might kind of get the hang of pressing buttons and playing and moving characters and stuff. Because I started playing Mario when I was like 3 or 4 on the original Nintendo. So, bust that out, introduce her to some old games. But yeah, hell yeah, man. Talk about some N64 all night. But I appreciate that. All right. And Vince Wynn, once again, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Vince says, not excited about Picard show. Way overdue for a good Star Trek game, by the way. And Screen Rant, and we got this covered, reporting that they're making a Knights of the Old Republic film and series. You know me, Vince. I take every report and rumor with a giant grain of salt. I tend to kind of lean in the direction of it not coming true whenever something like that comes out, until we hear something official, right? So, if something like that's coming out, cool. I just have a feeling that, we've also heard rumors that they're making a film and series from what they're calling the High Republic era, right? So, who knows what's true? Who knows what's not true? If I had to guess, Vince, I would say that's not true, and it seems like they're going to want to kind of focus on new eras that they create, and I think that's the strong suit. I think that's the way to go, but that's just me. But Vince, the only reason that I'm excited for the Picard show is Picard. Like, if you took the Star Trek, the Picard trailer, remove the name Picard and removed Picard and just put another captain or whatever in there, a new captain, I probably wouldn't be excited for it. I wasn't really excited for Star Trek Discovery. In fact, I haven't seen a single episode of Star Trek Discovery. So the only reason that I'm excited for the show is because of Picard. Is that like a mind trick on me? Just for nostalgia's sake? Absolutely it is. And because of that, I'm crossing my fingers tighter and tighter and tighter that the show is going to be good, I'm not expecting it to be TNG, slow-paced, intelligent, smart science fiction. I'm not expecting it to be that. But I'm very curious what it's going to be. And you said way overdue for a good Star Trek game, too. Yeah, I have always wanted to play that Star Trek VR game. What's it called? Captain's Chair or something? What is that called? Where did all that go? Where'd my chat go? There we go. Star Trek VR game. Bridge Crew. I don't have a virtual reality headset or anything like that. Little too pricey. I'm waiting for that to come down in price in like 10 years and when it's affordable. But that game has always been really interesting to me. I've always wanted to give it a shot, although I don't know anything about it, and I don't know if it's just kind of gimmicky with the VR, but it just seems like a really, really, really cool idea, I've never really played a good Star Trek game that I can think of. Let me look. I played Star Trek Online for a little bit. That was fun. I played the beta of that, actually. Star Trek Online. And I remember one of the bugs when I first launched the game was I spawned in. I made my character and I spawned in as a ship. I was like a little ship flying around inside of this like community area where a lot of people were running around, and I was like a miniature ship. The game glitched, and instead of a human being, I was running around as a ship. So, but then I played a little bit. It was a fun game. Typical MMO. I am looking at all these Star Trek games, man, and I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever played a single one of them. Ooh, Star Trek Next Generation Super Nintendo. The cover looks really familiar. I might have played this. Oh, man, this is looking really familiar. This top-down... I might have played this. Man. I never owned it, but I might have rented this. I'm going to sound like an old shit here, but I do miss, like... I mean, we always miss little things like that from our childhood, right? But I do miss, like, going to your local video store and renting a video game, not really knowing anything about it. You know, there was something really fun about that. Just kind of like a shot in the dark. Oh, this cover looks neat. I'll pick it up. And then it sucks and you're stuck with it for 3 days. But yeah. Anyway, Vince, I appreciate that, man. Saving Private Ryan Star Wars game where you just basic stormtrooper rebel soldier on the front and seeing terrifying experience during war. I like that in concept, 808. I don't think anything will ever get made like that. Maybe a mod, but yeah. JJ, good to see you, man. HG, good to see you, man. Well, I just said the same thing you did. A free world / galaxy GTA type Star Wars game is my biggest hope. Choose what you do, be a Mando, smuggler, etc., and travel between worlds and explore plus missions. God, the possibilities. Yeah, absolutely. That dude, JJ, that seems to be kind of the general consensus here of the type of game a lot of people want. Me, absolutely. I'd fit that same exact mold right there, JJ. Yeah, and I can't, that would be such a huge hit. People love giant open world games. And can you think of a franchise that would be better suited for a giant open world, like Skyrim style, GTA style game? Hop from place to place, join factions, become what you want to become. Yeah, it's just... I really hope something like that is planned, or at least on the drawing board, because, as you said, the possibilities, man. The possibilities of a game like that set in the Star Wars universe is it's like too enticing of an idea to pass up. And I really hope they make it in the future, but yeah. Anyway, JJ, it's good to see you, man. If I, you know what I would do if I had a game like that? I would probably just become a boring, like, moisture farmer and just, like, build a compound on Tatooine. I would stream it and everybody would be like, go do some action missions. No, I just want to farm my moisture. I'd be the most boring Star Wars GTA gamer ever. But that's what I want in a game. I want to live in the Star Wars universe. I don't want to just play. I want to live. And JJ, once again, anyway, here's to a great 2020 and a decade. You hear that? Well, it doesn't make a good clinging noise. That's my coffee mug hitting the microphone screen. But right back at you, man. Cheers. 2020. That feels like I don't know. 2020. Doesn't even make sense. 2020 feels like I don't know. Does anybody remember Conan O'Brien's In the Year 2000 skit? In the year 2000, in the year 2000. Oh my god, I'm gonna watch that after this stream. To think that was 20 years ago. Crazy, man. We're right back at you, JJ. And Posh! Hey, yo, I remember watching one of your vids about a Star Wars Skyrim-like game. You know, there's a mod in the works for Fallout New Vegas. It's open world. It's great. I think it's called Star Wars Open World. All right, I'm Googling this right now. Star Wars Open World Fallout New Vegas. Okay. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Star Wars based mods Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas Star Wars. This is from 2011. Oh, here's one from 2017. New Vegas mod talk Star Wars Total Conversion. Creating an overall Star Wars New Vegas game. C-3PO companion mod for Fallout New Vegas. That's hilarious. All right, I'm gonna have to look into this a little more, but that sounds pretty neat. That's one Fallout game that I never really played too much, man. I played a lot of Fallout 3. Never played a lot of New Vegas. Fallout 4 is probably the one that I played the most of, and even then, I didn't play too much of it. I actually played a lot of Fallout 76 when it first came out. I think I sunk like 40 hours into it, and that's a lot for me with a game like that. I enjoyed Fallout 76 for what it was. I didn't really enjoy it playing solo. I liked playing with my buddies and stuff like that, just kind of exploring the world, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. I'm looking at Fallout 76 right now. Oh my god, the audience rating summary on Google. There are so many 1-star reviews. Dude, you gotta have a chip on your shoulder to give something a 1-star review, right? I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, that sounds right up my alley, Posh. I'm gonna do a little bit more Googling to find what that is, because I'm not really finding anything right now. There's a lot of forum posts about Star Wars mods and stuff, but nothing that I can find. Oh, there's some YouTube videos. I'll watch those YouTube videos after the stream, and something like that would be pretty fun to stream, actually. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Posh. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. And Sky Moyer says, I love a game with the seamless space travel of a No Man's Sky, the open world freedom of Skyrim, and the ability to customize your very own ship. Once again, we're all saying the same thing here, Sky. Open world. I mean, No Man's Sky is a good kind of example as well. Because really only just for the complete freedom of flying around the galaxy, you know. Everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to do that. I mean, man. I don't often bring up No Man's Sky when I talk about my dream Star Wars game, but that is should certainly be lumped in there. You know, I played a lot of No Man's Sky when it first came out, but I also played a little bit of Elite Dangerous. I liked Elite Dangerous a little more, I think. I didn't play it as much, but I think I liked it more, just because of the style and the look of the game as well. Even though there was no ground stuff that I remember. I don't think you ground stuff. I think it was just spaceports. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm with you, Sky. Create your own character. Fly around like No Man's Sky. Planet to planet like Skyrim. Chart your own path. Become what you want to be. And as I always say, don't just play in the Star Wars galaxy. Live in the Star Wars galaxy. You could have a home base. You could build your own home in the sands of Tatooine. How awesome would that be, right? How awesome. And Dalton Compton says almost the same thing as Sky. Dalton says, my ideal Star Wars video game would be like a combination of Skyrim and No Man's Sky. Dude, Dalton and Sky literally said the same thing. Sky said No Man's Sky, the open world freedom of Skyrim, and Dalton said the combination of Skyrim and No Man's Sky. An exploration video game with known and unknown canon worlds to explore with a fantastic storyline. 100% with you. I cannot stress that enough. And Dalton, the game that I have heard on everybody's dream list is that. Oh, one sec.
YouTube by the title of Open World New Intro SW mod. It's uploaded by Tank Girl. It isn't very well known, so that's why you can't find it.
Intro.
Stay cool, Greedo. Love
Star
your
Wars
work.
mod. Okay. Open World New Intro Star Wars mod. Oh, it's uploaded by Tank Girl. Okay. Tank Girl. Okay, I have it pulled up on Google. But it's not showing. But okay, I have the. One sec, Posh. I appreciate you pointing me in the right direction. I'll once I get to that, I'll pull up YouTube and do a little quick search for it to find the exact thing, and I'll paste it in the chat. But yeah, give me one sec, man. But yeah, Dalton, 100% with you. And Sky Moyer once. Oh wait, Vince Wynn, what did you think of the Star Wars 1313 demo they showed before it got canned? You know, I haven't really looked too deep into what the game was going to be, but I thought it looked like an absolute blast. There seemed to be like not a God of War, a Gears of War kind of cover system. I thought it looked like a lot of fun. It kind of looked like the Underworld Star Wars game that I've been wanting for a long time. And let me take a quick sip of the old coffee. Was I bummed to see that it was canceled? You know, not really, because you know, there's been so many canceled Star Wars games, so many canceled games, not only Star Wars, but so many canceled things that we've never known about. And when it does come out that they were working on something and it got canned, you know, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. And I've never been one to get bummed out about what could have been, if that makes sense. So I thought it looked fun. It would have been fun for something like that to come out to completion. I love the idea of kind of a game that isn't centered around Jedi, because as you guys know, when I think of Star Wars, I don't necessarily think of Jedi and Sith and lightsabers and stuff like that. I primarily think of smugglers and cantinas and spaceships. And that kind of looked like what what I would envision a Star Wars game that I would like to be, you know. So it's been a very long time since I've thought about 1313. Wow. Yeah. I appreciate that, man. All right. High Republic era has been confirmed. Has it? I thought maybe it's confirmed. Star Wars rumors confirmed. High Republic era detailed. High Republic era. High Republic era. New trilogy taking place during the High Republic era. All right. So, you know, I take everything with a grain of salt until some official announcement, because we've been burned before, right? But it sounds interesting. I haven't really read too deep into it other than some people's tweets. That's about it. But yeah. And Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat. Channel supported well. I think it'd be fun to play a Star Wars FPS in the style of Doom and BioShock with conventional blasters, lightsabers, and force powers in one hand. Yeah, just a balls to the wall, running and gunning shoot fest. I would love something like that. Yeah, absolutely. Something like a modern Wolfenstein might be geared. Well, BioShock. BioShock's great. Man, I believe I've played them. I believe that I played the first and second one. I don't know if I beat the first one. I think I beat the second one, and I know I beat Infinite. Infinite was so much fun, man. Those are great games. But I would love Yeah, Oscar, a game like a BioShock, a Doom, but also a modern Wolfenstein. Modern Wolfenstein games have just hit me in the right spot, dude. The perfect mixture of just like balls to the wall, insane action, craziness, mixed with a fun story. You know, fun story, goofiness, silliness. It doesn't take itself too serious. So a game like that would be great. Absolutely great. Lightsabers, force powers on one hand. That reminds me of, was it Hexen? Hexen. Yeah, did you guys ever play Hexen? It came out in 1995. You could shoot like lightning out of your hands, and you had these powers, and you also had, I think, guns and swords and stuff. Maybe not guns, maybe crossbows and stuff like that, but kind of reminds me of that, the way you just mentioned, you know, force power in one hand and lightsaber in the other. That would be fun. Take a little step back to like original FPS style. I would dig something like that. Completely linear, single player, insane, fast-paced Star Wars FPS. I would completely dig that, Oscar. I like that idea. A lot of good ideas tonight. I know a lot of people always say, whenever I ask this question, a lot of people always say, like, I want a Knights of the Old Republic remake. Why? Let's get some Moose stuff. You have that game. Let's make Oscar's idea come true. That sounds fun. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man.
RPG about a stormtrooper who stands up to the Imperial Senate demanding that they offer the troops target practice. Spoiler fails, but it's about his battle with SW bureaucracy and high government.
Vince Wynn, once again, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, man. I greatly appreciate that. Give me one sec. All right, so let's see. Dalton, Vince, Christian, Mando Man, Jamie Lee Claus, Bearded Emperor, Vince Wynn, Oscar Rodriguez, Posh, Christian Vasquez, Oscar Rodriguez, and Vince Wynn. I appreciate the patience, guy. I'm a very long-winded son of a bitch, but I appreciate the patience, everybody. In Dalton Compton, perhaps with a customizable character and a class system such as Jedi and Sith, Smuggler, Soldier, and so on. Yeah, that seems to be kind of the go-to setup for games like that, right? It's very kind of World of Warcraft MMO, where you pick your character's class and boom, that's you. No wiggle room. You're good to go. For me, Dalton, I would rather have kind of skill-based whatnot. I don't even know how to describe this. I just have examples of games that I've played, like modern, like not modern, but like the original. The very, very original version of Star Wars Galaxies was just all skill-based. You could put skills into like a blaster or, you know, your medic tree, and you could create all these different types of combinations based on the skills that you wanted to grow. There was a lot more freedom in what your character could be and become. Same goes with like a game like Ultima Online, right? You could you could be an axer. You could carry around an axe, but you could also level up your lumberjacking. And you could be like an axe-wielding murderer in that game, but also a really good lumberjack. So, like, I love the idea of more so than just picking your class or whatnot. I love the idea of just starting fresh, all of your skills, like, I don't know, 50 skills at 0. And the more you use the skill, I think some Elder Scroll games are like that too, right? I think they all are. But I love that idea of just kind of skill based, not necessarily class based, but just because there's more customization in what your character can be. But that I could see that being the case, Dalton. Probably more so than like a skill thing, because I think that might be a little daunting for I don't know, a lot of people. But I love the idea, man. I love the idea of a Skyrim style game. And I would take class system. If we have that game, I would take a class system. And I would probably pick to be a smuggler. Out of those 4 choices that you gave, Dalton, Jedi, Sith, Smuggler, Soldier, and so on, ignoring the so on because there's endless, if I want to be a bartender, I would do that. But out of those 4 choices, I would pick a smuggler for sure. Did you guys hear that Death Star alarm? That means we have a new member of the fleet. Everybody in the chat, if you could do me a big favor. What, did the chat disconnect? Why is the chat continuously disconnecting for me? So strange. All right, there we go. If everybody in the chat could do me a big favor and welcome Belly Rubio, I would greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the fleet, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. The channel survives because of you and all the fleet members. I greatly appreciate that, man. I don't know if you know this, but you get a special role in the HelloGreedo Discord server. You can link up your YouTube account with your Discord account if you're on Discord, and join the HelloGreedo server, which is in the video description below. And you can you get a special role in there, access to some rooms. And also, I do a supporter Q&A once a month, and it's usually the first Monday of every month. So stay tuned for that. But Belly, thank you so much for becoming the latest member of the fleet, man. Welcome aboard, shipmate. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. But welcome aboard. I appreciate that, man. And Vince Wynn, I didn't like Into Darkness. Did you see Beyond? There was a Star Trek arcade game where you shoot Borg that I love. What did you think of Ad Astra HG? I loved Ad Astra. It had me just kind of in its pocket from the very beginning, man. It was my kind of sci-fi. Star Wars is kind of an outlier for me. In terms of loving, but it's fantasy. Yeah, I get it. Space fantasy. I get it. Okay, but you go to Blockbuster, it's in the science fiction section. Cool. Star Wars is actually kind of an outlier for me when it comes to science fiction. I prefer science fiction to be a little slow paced and a little heady. And Ad Astra was man, it hit that right spot for me. I was thinking about it long after it ended. I cracked a beer after it ended at like midnight, and just kind of, my wife was out of town, and I just kind of hung out thinking about the movie on the back porch and scrolling on my phone and with a beer, and I was like, man, that was a really, really great movie. Really just kind of hit the right sweet spot of science fiction that I like. Because I like, for the most part, I like my science fiction pretty, I don't know, pretty heady. That was a good one for sure. Into Darkness, I like it. It's a fun movie. I understand why people don't like it. I definitely like Star Trek 2009 better, just because it was such a fun. The characters are so great together. The chemistry on screen is so great. And it was just a really, really well done kind of like action adventure Star Trek movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. Into Darkness, it didn't do much for me, but Beyond was a little better in my opinion than Into Darkness, but 2009 takes the cake for me. I've only seen Beyond once. I saw it in the movie theater. I vaguely remember it. I remember liking it better than Into Darkness. But I haven't seen it since it came out. So yeah, those movies are pretty fun for what they are. I can differentiate between like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek and the Star Trek that I love. Grew up watching TNG, love TNG, but I also can watch that and just be cool with it. I'm not going to complain about it. It's still fun. It's not, the kind of philosophical science fiction future gazing at the modern world that a lot of Star Trek is. It's just more, crazy and fast paced with fun characters, But yeah, I really enjoyed Ad Astra, Vince. I appreciate that. And Christian Vasquez, thank you so much for the silent support this evening, man. I don't know if you meant to type a little message in there, or if you wanted to be a silent supporter, but I appreciate it all the same. Thank you so much for that support tonight, Christian. And Mando Man, thank you so much as well. Remember Star Wars Bounty Hunter, that but Mandalorian. Dude, I must be the only person on the planet that never played Star Wars Bounty Hunter. One sec. Alright, I had to spill a little bit of coffee on myself. And it's on my pants. It's not on my new chair. Good. I'm very clumsy and I spill a lot of things. Alright, cool. I must be the only person on the planet that never played Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It came out on the GameCube, right? In the PlayStation? Star Wars Bounty Hunter. In 2002. So PlayStation 2 originally, and the GameCube. Yeah, so I never owned a GameCube or a PlayStation 2. I really don't know much about this game. But it's a game that gets brought up often on this channel. So, what do you do? Well, let's see. And why is my internet? There we go. Third-person perspective. Jango Fett has access to a wide array of weapons in the game, from his trademark blaster pistols to flamethrowers, jetpack, blah, blah, blah. In-game, Jango makes you ask for about abilities, somersaulting, and some blah, blah, blah. Each level also has secret feather, which unlocks Wizards of the Coast. Bonus, but interesting. Is it kind of free roam? I don't really have anything to go by, Mando. But you said, but Mandalorian. If it's what I think it is, I would love a game where you're a bounty hunter, not necessarily the Mandalorian, but you go on various bounties, right? Knocking off targets, deciding what to do with targets, gaining reputation, all sorts of things like that could be done with a game like that. So it could be so open-ended and just kind of endless, like as we've said throughout this stream, like a No Man's Sky or a Skyrim, right? Imagine a game like that where you are a bounty hunter, Mando, where you can take bounties, you join the bounty hunter guild. Too much fun. So much possibility with a game like that, you know. And that would honestly be a little more geared towards what I would want in a Star Wars game. Don't get me wrong. I love Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It is my favorite single-player Star Wars game. It's top the rank. If I wipe away nostalgia for games like, Shadows of the Empire, Fallen Order is my favorite. That being said, a game where you're a bounty hunter, a game that isn't Jedi heavy, is definitely more kind of in tune with what I would want, But Mando, man, I appreciate that. And Jamie Lee Claus, a horror game where you are being chased by a mad Darth Maul with spider legs. To flee, you have to scare him away by showing him a hologram of Obi-Wan. Jamie, that reminds me of Alien in... What is that game called? Alien Isolation. Is that what you were going for? Alien Isolation? But with Darth Maul? That seems like a fun mini game in a bigger game, And once again, I go back to saying allow Battlefront to be modded, Somebody would make that. Somebody would make an Alien Isolation type game, a type mod in Battlefront 2, where you're running from Darth Maul and you have to hide out and you have to... I know the Obi-Wan thing is a joke, but a game like that might be kind of fun, where you're hiding out, But I appreciate that, Jamie. A lot of, I've heard a lot of people... Well, here we go, Bearded Emperor. I was about to say a lot of people have brought up Star Wars horror shows and games before. A Bearded Emperor says, a Star Wars zombie survival horror open world game. I guess zombies, something like that would be kind of fun, but... That once again, Bearded, that almost sounds like a mini game within a game, a mod for a game, something like that. If you're talking co-op, like Left 4 Dead 2 style, thumbs up for me. I would love something like that. And maybe not even zombies, maybe creatures. I guess you could say zombies, whatever. But maybe that could be a level in a Left 4 Dead style Star Wars game where there's 4 of you and you have to get from checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint and make it out alive, and that would be great. But dude, there's so many possibilities with Star Wars games. It's kind of funny, man. When EA acquired the license, I thought, holy shit, we are going to get flooded with so many Star Wars games. They're going to pump them out. They're going to put so many studios on so many different games. They're just going to put them out. No, I thought we would get something like that, Bearded. I thought we would get some, a whole slew of Star Wars games. And that, that kind of goes to what I've been saying for a very long time. I wish the license, I like Battlefront, I like Battlefront 2, and I love Jedi Fallen Order. They're all great games. Battlefront, the first Battlefront left a lot to be desired. It felt very shallow. That's no secret. I think everybody thought that. But I still would love the license to kind of be thrown out there a little bit among various developers, various studios, especially in like smaller independent studios would be great. Smaller independent studios getting their hands dirty in Star Wars, making a Star Wars RTS, right? Because EA's not going to make a new Star Wars RTS. If they did, I'd be very surprised. As I say that, I hope I'm wrong. But it would be great to have a smaller studio make a Star Wars RTS. That would be a big hit. I can't imagine it would cost very much money to make a Star Wars RTS or an RTS at all compared to a giant-ass Jedi Fallen Order game, But why did I go down that road? I don't know. But I appreciate that, Bearded. And Oscar Rodriguez for mobile phones, maybe a Star Wars game in the style Final Fantasy Tactics game where you and a band of Jedi battle Sith in turn-based combat. Yeah, well, mobile, yeah. As I said, Oscar, I've never played any mobile games. The extent of my mobile gaming goes to card game called Euchre. That's really the only mobile game that I've ever really played on my phone, other than years ago I downloaded Angry Birds. I don't know why, man. I haven't made the transition. I don't think I ever will to mobile gaming. But something like that would probably be a pretty big hit. I know Galaxy of Heroes is pretty big. I know quite a bit of people play that. I've never had a desire. I downloaded it one time and I expected to get into it, and I fired it up and I was just laying in bed and I was like, man, I just can't get into mobile games, and I just exited out of it and uninstalled. I didn't even give it a chance. So that being said, a Star Wars turn-based game like that would suit mobile gaming for sure. Make it multiplayer, have I guess it's kind of like Galaxy of Heroes, I think, but I don't know. But yeah, Oscar. We should be saving all these ideas and throwing them out there. In fact, I might do that. I might take screenshots of all everything that I'm reading, and tweet it at EA and just say, lots of good ideas here. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, man. And Vince, oh wait, did I skip? Oh, there we go. Vince Wynn, thank you so much as well. Y'all remember PS2 era when they used to crap out licensed movie games? Some were kind of great. What movie would you like a game of in the current generation? Well, you kind of brought up the Harry Potter thing, and I can't really get that out of my head, Vince. I was never a big Harry Potter fan growing up. In fact, I honestly don't think I saw any of the movies until me and my wife started dating in 2008. I don't think I don't know. I saw him a little after that. And I didn't read a Harry Potter book until like 2 years ago when I first got my Kindle because it was free. That being said, if it wasn't Star Wars for me and I was a little bit younger, I think Harry Potter would have been my franchise. It's fun, it's a fun series for sure. And the idea of a Harry Potter MMO, especially, is such a great idea. I don't think it's ever been made. You know, you could create your own student at Hogwarts. You could create your own character at Hogwarts. You could customize them, and there'd be just various missions. And does that not sound like the perfect setting for an MMO? So in terms of movie games, I think something like that would just make a big splash and be something that would be really great. What other movies? What other movies? We've had some fun Lord of the Rings games. Man. No, I think if I had to pick something, Vince, I think that Harry Potter MMO thing would be too good to pass up, you know? Like a City of Heroes. Or a Matrix Online. Matrix Online was I was so excited for that game, man. It wasn't that great. Matrix Online. Let's see, when did that come out? 2005. So I had just graduated high school the previous year. Interesting. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole from this game, I'm sure. I'm going to start looking into all these games that I used to play. The Matrix Online. Fun stuff. Anyway, I appreciate that, Vince. In Posh, you can find the mod on YouTube by the title of Open. Okay, let me go ahead and pull YouTube up. All right. Open World New Intro Star Wars mod. Okay, I found it. Tank Girl. 110 views. So this is a Star Wars mod, huh? Oh, interesting. A holocron. So this is New Vegas. This might be fun to check out. All right, I'll check this out after the stream. I'll bookmark this video and look into it. It looks pretty sleek, man. Whoever made this did a hell of a job, especially with the character skins, the NPC skins that I'm looking at here. Oh wow, even the environments. They look good. I don't know anything about this, but let's see. Stuff for everyone. Blah, blah, here's the. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'll check this out. Nice. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, Posh. And Christian Vasquez, open space fleet game. Be a capital ship captain. Wander the halls of your CR-90 or Neb-B. Manage crew. Explore the galaxy. Let me bookmark this video real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, that would be fun, like a VR experience, kind of like that Bridge Crew game, Star Trek game. I would really like something like that. That isn't all just complete action. That isn't all just like running and gunning. That isn't all just mission hopping. Where you could be a part of a crew or be a captain and just kind of conduct business on a ship, even in peacetime, would be fun, right? Almost like an exploration game where you could bounce from place to place and just kind of roam and be the captain of this ship and put more resources into certain sections of the ship, and something like that would be a lot of fun for sure. What Neb-B? I don't remember Neb-B. Neb-B. What is Neb-B? Oh, okay. Nebulon B. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Something like that would be a lot of fun. Like I said, not everything needs to be combat for me, right? What I loved about Star Wars Galaxies was just being a doctor. And the idea, like you brought up, Christian, of being a captain and conducting business on a ship, and maybe even just dealing with bullshit minutia on the ship, like court-martialing people. I mean, you could have little scripted events like that where somebody tries to stage a mutiny. You know what I mean? Like random stuff like that, and you'd have to deal with it. It'd be fun. It'd be fun as hell. But yeah, I appreciate that, Christian. And Vince Wynn, RPG about a stormtrooper who stands up to the Imperial Senate demanding that they offer the troops target practice. Spoiler, fails. But it's about his battle and Star Wars bureaucracy and high government. Star Wars bureaucracy and high government. Man, so many possibilities here. I'm just running through what that would look like in my head. Dialogue heavy. Once again, not everything needs to be combat, right? You can sprinkle combat in here and there, but there's great stories to be told that isn't just balls to the wall combat. A political thriller of a game. Trying to vie for power. Ooh, what if you, Vince, what if you could play as Palpatine and you're trying to weasel yourself into power? That would be a fun game, right? An RPG where you are trying to make the right decisions that ultimately get you into power. You're being weaselly. You're trying to butter up to people. You're pulling strings. That would be a fun game. Like, you don't have to do any combat. You could initiate combat with your decisions, but a Palpatine game where you are pulling the strings and it's dialogue heavy, like maybe even one of those, like, what are the Hightail games? Is that what they're called? Those, I don't think they're in business anymore, right? Hightail games? Is that what they're called? Hightail game. No, that's not what it is. What are those games called? Is that what I thought they were called? Hightail games, or Telltale games. Telltale games. That's right. Telltale games. Something like that would be fun, right? A Telltale game style game where you are Palpatine and you're trying to pull the strings and get into power. Dig it. Oscar Rodriguez, speaking of which, are you excited for BioShock 4? Is that a thing? BioShock 4 Screen Rant. Everything you want to know about blah, blah, blah. Oh, it is announced. BioShock 4 announced. Every confirmed detail revealed. Development intro. Project codenamed Parkside will report cloud narrative icon of first person. Yes. Oscar, dude, I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know that that this was being made. So hell yeah. I've played the BioShock games. They're really fun. And yes, absolutely. I don't know when this will come out. Likely 2022 or 2023 at the earliest. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we got a little ways to wait, but yeah, man, absolutely. BioShock Infinite was such a fun game. BioShock 2 was great too. I have vivid memories of like the beginning of that game where you're learning about this world and stuff like that. I absolutely love it. So yes, I guess there's not really much known about the game unless, I'm not seeing what's been released. There's always a lighthouse, there's always a city, there's always a man. So yes, Oscar. Now that I know it exists, I'm excited for it. And you just reminded me, what is that game I played the hell out of? Fable. Fable game. Is there a new one coming out? I thought there was. Fable Fortune. Is that Xbox One? That's already out? Fable Fortune? Is that a card game? What am I looking at? Oh, boo. I don't want that. Is there a new Fable game coming out? Fable... Fable 4 is happening, a story focus and everything else. So Fable 4. Fable was such a fun game. I played it on my Xbox 360. And dude, I loved Fable 2 especially. Fable 3. Which one did I play a lot of? Fable 3, I think. Yeah, Fable 3 was the one that I played so much of. Really easy game, but dude, I bought every single building you could. I played the hell out of Fable 3. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for Fable 4 and any information on that. I'm so out of the loop with video games lately. For a very long time, rather. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the channel support once again. RPG, oh, I already read that. And Tristan Zabinski, thank you so much, man. Hey, Greedo, just dropping by to say hi. How you doing? While playing some Battlefront. Haven't super chatted in a long time, so I hope the new move went well. Well, thank you so much, Tristan. It's good to see you. Enjoy some Battlefront if you're still here. And I know I'm very long-winded. You sent that 20 minutes ago, so I appreciate everybody's patience. I'm sure people want me to speed it up, but you know, I like talking about things that people bring up. It's fun. But Tristan, the move went really well. It's always more of a pain in the ass than you expect. Our garage has been a mess until yesterday. My wife was out of town. I dropped my daughter off at my parents' house so they could babysit her, and I ended up just working on the garage yesterday. Putting stuff in the attic and whatnot, and there's still a little bit left to do, but I can pull a car in, and there's a lot of space in there now. And what took the longest amount of time yesterday dealing with the garage was, you know, when I went up into the attic, I measured out from beam to beam. You know, you have to set stuff on beams. You need some support up there. You don't want to put it on the top of the in between beams, because eventually it could fall through the damn ceiling. And luckily, we live in a neighborhood that's heavily under construction. So I dumpster dove and I picked out some wood that was discarded, like 15 giant boards of wood out of the dumpster, and I just sawed them all into like 4 feet or like 3 feet, you know, boards, and I created all these supports up in the attic with this excess wood that the construction workers were throwing away. That took forever. But other than that, everything went really smooth. The house is awesome. It's just kind of a dream, you know, because we used to live in a 1,000 square foot home downtown Jacksonville, and we loved it for 5 years. While it was just the two of us, it was a perfect little house for us, going bar hopping and whatnot. But when we had a kid, we realized that we needed more space, and it went really well. Anyway, Tristan, I appreciate that, man. Here's the link to that Fallout New Vegas mod. Sorry if posting a link is breaking the rules, man. Oh, no worries. Let me copy paste it. And that didn't work. Why isn't it letting me copy paste? Come on, copy paste. Come on, copy paste. Why isn't it letting me copy and paste that? Posh, where the hell did that go? I'm not seeing... Maybe that got sent when my chat wasn't. Okay. I'll have to copy and paste that later. It's your super chat is not showing up in my chat. I see it on my background Streamlabs program, but I do not see it in the main chat. Weird. Anyway. Yeah, I'll check that out after the stream, Posh. I'll copy and paste that and maybe get on to... I'll re-download Fallout New Vegas on Steam. But I appreciate that, man. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much as well. Ever play Indiana Jones in the Emperor's Tomb? Let me look this up. Indiana Jones.
Signing off for tonight, it's 3:30. I just wanted to say thanks for the amazing level of interaction. You guys in the chat rock. Thanks HG for the great
Oh
book
man.
as well. Good night, guys.
Well, Jamie Lee Claus, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for supporting the channel this evening. And yeah, have a good night. That's very late. 3:30. I haven't stayed up that late in a very long time. But dude, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm glad you had some fun hanging out in the chat as well. And I cannot tell you thank you enough for picking up the book. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, it's a pretty personal book, but you know, thank you so much for picking it up. I hope you got something out of it. So good night right back at you. And thank you once again for supporting the channel this evening. I got a video probably coming out tomorrow about the critic and audience divide. That's a little interesting to me, but it's sure to, you know, make some people mad, as every YouTube video does, right? But anyway, why did I say all that? I appreciate that, Jamie. Have a good night. Okay, so Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. No, I've never played this. This does not look familiar whatsoever. I don't know if I've ever heard of this, Vince. Interesting. No, I've never played this. I don't think I've ever heard of this. The only Indiana Jones game that I've ever played... well, there was one on the SNES, right? Yeah, I played the SNES one. Which was a lot like... Oh, man. Wow, this is bringing back memories. I'm looking at screenshots of the SNES Indiana Jones game. Running away from the ball. Wow, that was fun. Kind of like Pitfall. But other than that, I think the only Indiana Jones game that I've ever played was on the Wii. And it was... I did not like it whatsoever. And the Staff of Kings, is that what it was? No. Oh, yeah, okay. The reason I didn't really care for it was so, like... gimmicky with the motion controllers that it just, like, I don't know, it wasn't smooth. It wasn't, I did not like it whatsoever, but it has a great rating. Wow, 96% of the people liked it. Wow, I don't remember liking it at all. But no, I've never played that, Vince. Never played it. And Mr. Weeping Dalek, Telltale-style Star Wars game. Yeah, I didn't see this before I mentioned the Palpatine game, but dude, if you were just listening to me talk about the Palpatine Telltale-style game that I just thought about would be fun, right? Vying for power. You have to make the right decisions to make Palpatine rise to power. You have to butter people up. You have to make strategic choices. Something like that would be great. Something like that, yeah, it just seems like kind of a no-brainer kind of game, right? Like, sure, we want these open world games. That's why I kind of want the license to be diversified, right? A lot of different unique ideas being hashed out with more independent and smaller companies that it could do these innovative type of games, right? And a Star Wars Telltale style game set in some kind of time of political intrigue, political turmoil, it would just fit perfectly, you know. But I appreciate that, Dalek. In Nerd with No Name, let me take a quick sip. Nerd with No Name says The Witcher's open world / quest system and a deep bounty hunter story, or Red Dead but a Jedi during Clone Wars. So I've never played a Witcher game, but I vaguely know about them. My buddy's really into them. Out of those two, I would almost, okay, so I'm gonna pull apart your comment here, nerd. I'm gonna take the bounty hunter story and the open world of Red Dead. Out of the things that you just mentioned there, and I'm gonna take those ingredients and make my own soup. I would like a Red Dead style game, just open world game. That's just an example, right? Red Dead. I say that as an example. But you play as a bounty hunter. Just sounds like a dream to me, you know, complete dream to me. So, because a Jedi during the Clone Wars, that would be fun. But for me, in the Star Wars games that I want, I'm kind of more wanting. Oh, weird. What just happened? Oh, there we go. Sorry, man. I was I didn't think my Streamlabs program was linking up with the YouTube chat. Something's going funky tonight. I'm making sure that I'm not missing anybody here, but I'm good to go. So yeah, the type of Star Wars games that I really want nowadays, you know, I got my fill with Jedi Fallen Order with the Jedi and stuff like that. I'm kind of in the mood for something, you know, no lightsabers, no Jedi, no nothing, just kind of meat and potatoes of spaceships and blasters and the, you know, the seedy underbelly of Star Wars is kind of what I'm going for. So Bounty Hunter, Red Dead Redemption, Star Wars, 2 thumbs up. But I appreciate that, man. And let's see. In the check, a non-suspecting role-play game ending in Order 66. A non-suspecting role-play game. What do you... Non-suspecting. Non-suspecting. Unsuspecting? So the way I'm reading this, the check, and I like the check and the name the check. I like that persona or that avatar and a little mystery behind that. I just had to mention that. If I'm reading this correctly, a role-playing game where you don't know that it ends in Order 66. I love that idea. Have the end of the game be a complete surprise, a complete twist, where you don't even know that you're playing in this time frame. That twist, that surprise would be so great. I mean, it would leak out immediately, right? As soon as the first person finished the game, everybody on the internet would know the ending of the game, because how can you keep that genie in the bottle? But I love that idea where a game, if that's what you're talking about, a game... You'd be playing the hell out of it, and then at the end, close to the end, you realize that it was coming to this, just a left turn to that, and everything that you just accomplished maybe just went down the shitter. I love that idea as a concept. That's kind of an interesting, just complete twist. But anyway. And JJ, did you see the Kenobi fan film by Jamie Costa? It's amazing, by the way. Finished shooting my fan film last Friday. Oh, nice. If you're interested, I'll keep you updated. Absolutely, man. Feel free to send me whatever on Twitter. If you want to share it, if you want people to see it as you're developing it, as you're editing it and putting it together, please, feel free to send things my way, and I'll give it a big thumbs up. Oh, it's a heart now, or it's never been a thumbs up. It's a heart. No, so the Kenobi fan film, Jamie Costa, is something that has been brought up quite a bit on this channel. I still have yet to watch it. I'm looking at it right now. It's 18 minutes long. It came out. Oh, really recently. Okay. It looks really good. I'm in terms of like visuals. All right, I might make a video about this. This looks kind of... Yeah, I'll check this out at some point. I just dragged the I just dragged it to my bookmark bar up there. So I'll check that out at some point this week. But yeah, feel free to shoot over whatever you got going on with the fan film, JJ. I'm very, very curious what you're doing with it. And let's see. Nerd with no name once again. LA Noire, but Coruscant and Scoundrels. I forgot about LA Noire. I love that idea. LA Noire was a really fun game for the first like 4 or 5 hours to me. And then it just got super repetitive. And maybe I was just not in the mood. Let's see. Completion time. I don't think I ever beat it. How long is LA Noire? 21 hours. I'd never even got close then. So yeah, it to me it like got very, very repetitive. But as a concept, Nerd with No Name, I really like that. Dialogue heavy. A detective story would be so much fun set in the Star Wars universe. We've talked about this before on one of the more recent streams, Nerd with No Name. But somebody brought up a detective Star Wars show or movie. Dude, that I would love that. Bring in other genres into Star Wars. A detective story would be so awesome set in the Star Wars universe. And to have a detective game like L.A. Noire, where you can kind of, a little bit of choose your own adventure and try to figure out some puzzles would be pretty damn great. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. And Nameless King, TLJ equaled a diamond covered in shit. The Rise of Skywalker, shit covered with glitter. All right. Wait, where's all these chats? Dude, I'm so confused with the way, one sec, sorry guys. Oh no, I put my phone right in my water bottles. Condensation. That's why my fingerprint wasn't working. So that's hilarious. I'm trying to think. A diamond covered in shit. The Rise of Skywalker, shit covered with glitter. That's a fun little way to look at the movies, for sure. Dude, the Rise of Skywalker. I just, the more I think about it, it's like the less I like it, and the more it's just kind of meh, And the opposite is true of The Last Jedi. Since I saw it, when it first came out, the more I think about it, the more I watch it, the more I like it. And it's my fourth favorite Star Wars movie. I've had really great conversations with my buddy over Christmas, when he was in town. The guy, if you guys have picked up, sorry about the mess, the guy that I went to see Revenge of the Sith with at midnight, he's pictured in the book with me. And this is kind of the guy that I always like talking about movies with. And we just been talking about TLJ since then, just what we love about it and whatnot. So, I like your little comparison there, Nameless. I like it. You might like my video tomorrow. I'm talking about, it's a video about critic and audience reactions, and I kind of think about it a little bit and why they're so different. And people always boil it down to like pretentiousness or stupidity or politics. You know what I mean? People boil it down to these easily dumb explanations for very complicated questions. So maybe you'll get a kick out of that video that I upload probably tomorrow. So anyway, I appreciate that, man. And Benjamin Pinion. I got cottonmouth. Hey, Greedo, thoughts on the rumored The Rise of Skywalker 3-hour cut? That's a lot of Rise of Skywalker. I have no question in my mind that I don't know if there is a cut that's that long, but I have no question in my mind that there is so much shot that was on the cutting room floor. Just the way a lot of the scenes, it was very clunky, very pieced together, not very seamless. Maybe if I watch it some more, that some of those problems will fade away. As a lot of the times on subsequent viewings, Star Wars movies, the things that you don't like about them kind of fade. But I would watch it if that ever came out, Benjamin, but I doubt it ever will. But it's not something that I'm like really, really craving, to tell you the truth. We got Rise of Skywalker. It's out. I accept it. It's not my favorite. It's one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. But I'm still going to talk about it on videos and stuff like that, because I've been talking about Star Wars for almost 9 years now on YouTube, and it's a part of Star Wars. So, that being said, a 3-hour cut, cool. I would like to see what was cut, but it's not, if they never release that, if that never gets brought up, if that isn't true, I'm 100% fine with it. We got the movie that came out, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, I appreciate that, Benjamin. And Vince Wynn, Once again, thank you so much, man. Any genre you don't like of games? I've never been that big of a fan of turn-based stuff. I've never been into like Final Fantasy turn-based stuff. I've never been into like Total War games, or Civilization games. A little too slow for me. My buddy has tried to get me into Total War and Civilization for a long time. He likes playing them. He's got that brain that really enjoys doing that kind of stuff. But those, I don't know what that genre is called. It's not real-time strategy, right? It's turn-based strategy. I don't know. That's probably a genre that I've never really been into, and it just doesn't do much for me. Other than that, I like RTS, I like FPS, I like RPG, I like MMO, I like sports games. Fighting games, I haven't been into since I was a kid. They just don't hold my attention. I bought a Mortal Kombat game for the PS3 when it came out years ago. I don't even know, maybe 7 years ago. I really don't know. Played it for like an hour and I was like, all right. Other than that, man, racing games, once again, racing games are kind of like fighting games. I played them a lot as a kid, but I can't really get into them nowadays for whatever reason. So yeah, turn-based, fighting games, racing games, that's, I'll play them, but I don't go out of my way to play them. But yeah, can't really think of anything else that I'm not a big fan of. But yeah. And Rudy Rella, thank you so much for the final super chat and channel support of the evening. Hi, Greeds. Thoughts on Interstellar, my number one movie. Oh, nice. Number one movie. I haven't seen it since I saw it in IMAX. Interstellar. And to tell you the truth, I don't really remember it too much. I loved, I'll say this. It had really, really interesting concepts. I loved the use of time in the movie. Planets, gravity, heavy use of, I guess, Einstein's relativity in a really interesting narrative way, from what I remember. I remember liking it, but for whatever reason, I only saw it once, and it seems, I love me some heady sci-fi. That is my sci-fi. As I said at the very beginning of the stream, Star Wars is kind of an outlier when it comes to what I like about sci-fi. I would take an Ad Astra, over a lot of, action-packed science fiction movies. Or an Interstellar over a lot of action-packed science fiction movies, and that, I've only seen it once. So it's a movie that I would like to watch again. I remember it being pretty powerful. I remember liking a lot of the kind of the trippy aspects of it, and the use of time as like as a narrative device. I thought it was pretty interesting, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't watch it again. With those types of movies, man, I usually watch them multiple times because they impact me pretty big. And even a movie like Sunshine, I've probably seen like 5 times, more than that even. There was a time where I just put it on for the soundtrack. But for whatever reason, Interstellar was not one that I watched a lot of. But I need to check that out again. Anyway, I appreciate that, Rudy. But all right, guys, that was almost 2 hours of what was going to be an hour live stream. Time got away from me. We started talking video games. Cosmic Acorn. I love the idea of Star Wars Destiny. I've brought that up quite a bit. I love that idea, Star Wars Destiny style. But that would be fun. But yeah. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the final super chat channel support of the stream. Is that a cup of coffee with tired on it? Yeah, I'm a little beat. I think I'm gonna pop popcorn after this, and we're gonna watch the final episode of Mrs. Maisel, and then crash. But dude, cheers. Right back at you. I appreciate the hell out of that support, not only tonight, Vince, but this entire month. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, man. But yeah, I appreciate that, dude. And yeah, video tomorrow, hopefully, about critic and audience scores. Kind of an interesting, off the top of my head, rambling, thinking about why things are split with a lot of movies between critics and audiences. But all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm probably going to end up screenshotting some of these ideas and tweeting at EA and saying, let's get on it. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the hell out of the support this evening from those of you who super chatted. Belly Rubio, thank you so much for becoming the latest member of the fleet. And I will probably do a stream. I don't know if I'll do a stream tomorrow night, but I'll probably end up doing a stream Wednesday, if not tomorrow night. I'll probably work on some videos tomorrow night. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. And we will end on Psychotic Song this evening. All right, guys. Enjoy your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya. Hey, Posh, thank you so much for coming in with the final super chat, man. And I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. I will absolutely check it out. I will copy and paste your message, and I might even give it a download. I need to reinstall New Vegas for sure. In fact, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that tonight. But I appreciate that, Posh. Thank you so much, man. All right, guys. Once again, take it easy. I'm going to go ahead and end this thing. That was a very clunky way of saying end this thing. All right, guys. Later.